Phantasialand, or Phantasialand depending on how you want to pronounce it, is an amazing theme park located in Brühl, Germany, not too far from Cologne. Whilst it's not the biggest in terms of size, Phantasialand certainly do make the very best of all the available land. You'll notice that rides and lands have been scaped onto different levels to not only make use of the space available, but to also adhere to the strict noise levels, so as not to upset the locals. The theming, cleanliness and overall feel-good factor of this park is excellent. It's easy to get to by car and is less than 10 minutes ride from Brühl town centre. The car park charge as of May 2023 was €7 a day, or failing that from Brühl centre there's a Phantasialand bus which costs €4 per person return. There are many great rides and shows on the park for all ages. A lot have been missed out on this list, but I'm going to talk about what I feel are my top 10. This is based personally on my own experience of riding the rides. So with that, why don't we dive right in and find out what I feel are my top 10 rides of this excellent theme park, Phantasialand. Number 10, Talokan. This Huss top spinner is insane. Personally not one for me to ride, as I kind of don't really like these rides. They make me feel a bit queasy after I've come off them. But still, great fun to watch. It has a great fire and water effect, which is designed to tease guests on board to make you think that you're going to get wet. It also features a curved hieroglyphic wall, which is another great element and really plays with your senses while you're on it, thinking that you might get to crash into it, and really disorientates whereabouts you are on the ride. Though these rides can be found at many parks, indeed some fun fairs as well, this one really packs a punch, and its themed elements are second to none. Guests are loaded into 2 rows, where the front and back rows are loaded onto the boat as equally as possible. Once the ride starts, the arms on the boat start to move, and then finally the gondola itself swings on itself. There are several different programs on this, so you're not always guaranteed to get the same ride experience, which is probably one of the good things. It boasts some serious forces as the gondola swings through and taunts you with the fountains and flame effects. A serious must do for any hardcore adrenaline junkie. Number 9, Mystery Castle. This is a unique Intamin drop tower. It's all completely enclosed indoors and stands at 213 feet. The ride queue line is based on a creepy, mysterious castle and gets darker the deeper you go into the ride. The ride itself blasts riders to the top, and each of the arms drop at different times and then back up again, repeating it several times through the cycle. This gives an aura of suspense, as you don't quite know when you're going to drop, and you can see people dropping at different times. The attraction has some cool and eerie lighting effects that only add to the suspense. Big shout out to Park Roller Coaster for the use of this infrared nighttime vision. The tower itself is really dark, so you can't normally see too much. You do get some lightning effects on the top of the ceiling, but I'll leave a link to the page in the description comments below, so cheers. Number 8, RiverQuest. So, what do you do when you have a really great theme park but you're really short on space and you want to build a rapids ride? Well, you kind of build up, of course. That's exactly what Phantasialand did here with RiverQuest. And well, let's face it, it was a great move. It's by far one of the most innovative rapids rides I've seen, and it looks stunning. So, after departing the station, you take a short drift on the river rapids, nice smooth section, before you eventually enter into a tunnel which leads you into a cave. Once you've got into the cave, you're then taken up to the vertical lift, which is again slightly unusual for a river rapids ride. Oddly enough, this ride doesn't actually contain that much in terms of rapids, What it does have is some pretty steep drops and whirlpool-like elements that will bring you back down completely drenched. Very, very refreshing on a hot day. There's 3 drops in total, each one seems like steeper than the last and really, really enjoyable. In fact, sometimes you're hanging on for dear life thinking that you're going to fall out of the boat, but trust me, you don't. But it's a really good, enjoyable ride, and as I say, something really different to traditional rapids ride where you're just floating on a single level track. Number 7, Chiapas. And this log flume ride again offers a nice refreshing experience on a hot day. It's beautifully themed to a Mexican village and it's a stunning water ride, boasts one of, if not the steepest drops on a flume ride. You travel through caves as well as some outdoor sections. At one point you even go backwards. There's a section in the indoor caves that's themed to Cinco de Mayo, and it kind of feels like you're going through a rave party. It's really, really great fun. I'm not going to spoil what happens in there, but make sure you do ride this ride to check that out. The ride itself overall is a great pleasurable experience. There's several hills, plenty of opportunity to get wet. The final lift hill itself, although being one of the steepest on a flume kind of ride, you expect that to do the damage if you're getting really wet, but that's actually not the case in this ride. It's the speed hill just after that gives some positive G's, and that's the bit that gets you soaking. Well worth doing just to see how amazingly themed this ride is as well. Number 6, Mousel Chocolate. So this is an indoor attraction. It's great fun for people of all ages. I really, really enjoyed this and rode it a couple of times while we were there. It's kind of similar to the Toy Story Midway Mania at Hollywood Studios in Orlando, if anyone's done that. In fact, the ride system and the vehicles are exactly the same, except in this scenario you have pastry shooters which you have to use to blast the mice that have overrun themselves with bakery. As I say, it is similar to Toy Story Midway Mania. There's several scenes that you'll go through where you have to play different games and try and shoot the high value targets as best you can. They are a bit difficult to spot as the sets are quite busy, but if you do find those high targets, come off with the best score. As I say, really, really like this ride. I wish they had a ride similar to this in the UK. It's great fun, so make sure you do ride it. Number 5, Windjass. So these are actually a pair of Mara spinning coasters with 2 separate tracks, Windjass Falls and Windjass Fear. The coasters are located indoor and they actually intertwine around each other and one of the other indoor attractions. Both sides have steep drops, spinning moments and some unexpected elements in the dark. It's great if you manage to end up going down the drops backwards, as you don't always see when it's coming. Both sides are fun to ride, and you have to do them both if you get time. And let us know which you think is the better side. For me personally, I think Fear is. Number 4, Colorado Adventure. What can I say about this one? It's absolutely insane. It's quite possibly the best mine train ride I've ever ridden. Unlike most rides of this kind, where they've got powered tracks, meaning the speed can be controlled through the ride, this Vekoma model works on gravity alone. Well, and some help from some lift hills, which I think they're 3 throughout the entire course. But because of this, you really do pick up speed on this family attraction. Riding in the back is the best as you get ripped around the turns and you pick up some slight air time. There's also an indoor section which feels really insane as you can't really see where you're going and just makes the whole ride experience feel like, whoa! So into the top 3 now, and I really struggled where to place these 3. They're all fantastic in their own way, but I decided to place them as follows. So again, these are just my personal preference. At number 3 is Fly. I was apprehensive about this one as my past experience of the Cobra coasters was based on their much older models. This, however, was such a refreshing change. Firstly, the ride was super smooth. I love the way that you board the ride sideways on before the track twist to get into the flying position. The theming of the Ruckberg area was stunning, based around a steampunk setting and accessed via a tunnel. It was almost like you were travelling into a secret part of the past, which I thought was really cool. The ride itself features many creative banks and turns and some launch sections, which is a really great addition to the park. I placed it 3rd as the restraints caused me a little bit of discomfort, which may have just been that mine was just pressed on too tight. But overall, a really fantastic coaster, and I really love what they've done with this area of the park. It really is visually stunning, and to walk around and just see the coaster flying above you is great. Number 2, Black Mamba. This is a B&M inverter coaster, and after leaving the station to your own personal African drum beat, you then wake your way round to the lift hill. Once you go up the lift hill, you're then into the first drop, which really is intense and sets the whole theme for the ride. Having ridden many B&M inverters, I have to say this one really does rank up there with them. Whilst it doesn't give you anything special compared to others, you will notice that in the second half in particular, it focuses more on the turns and generating speed, which really does add to the ride. I also think the theming on this and the whole way that you're immersed into an African village just really does add to it. I believe over €8 million was spent on theming alone, and you can clearly see why. This was the first ride I rode at Phantasialand and I was absolutely blown away. If you could see me, I was grinning like a Cheshire cat. The twists and turns of this ride really do whip you round and offers a great adrenaline rush, especially if you sat at the back. However, to really appreciate the ride, I'd recommend doing it on the front row if you can. I really do love these coasters, and this one doesn't disappoint. Number 1, Taron. This Intamin multi-launch coaster is just insane. I managed to ride it at the back and wow, those launches are incredible. You carve your way through the village of Klugheim and interact with several near misses and even another family coaster in the area called Reich. The track is so complex but stunning to view and look at. It's almost as good just watching the ride as it is riding it. The ride offers some great elements and S-bands in both halves for the ride. But for me, to make it even better, I'd have personally liked a few more inversions. But nevertheless, this is a stunningly great coaster and one I rode several times whilst there. So, that's it, that's my top 10. How's it compared to yours? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you like what we do, please comment, like, subscribe, it really does help the channel out. Keep on exploring, and we'll see you next time.